We're here for more Throne of Eldraine spoiler. Wait. What's this? Oh, did we hit 19K? Oh, baby. Let's do some spoilers. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. Welcome to another Throne of Eldraine spoiler video. And we have just crested over 19K. Do you know what that means? Well, it means a celebration involving all of this goodness and another mystery object that's back there. But you know what we'll do? We'll cover that at the end of the video as a nice way of ending it off. So, in short, let me say, thanks for 19K, my friends. We shall move the guilds at the end of the video and talk about that goodness. But for now, let's talk about the goodness of the cards. And we are starting out with one hell of a flavorful card. Bake into a pie. Honestly, I am loving the whimsical nature of these Throne of Eldraine spoilers. This is both dark and whimsical and kind of silly overall. So I'm totally digging it. So what do we got here? 2 black, 2 colors for an instant. Destroy target creature. Create a food token. The flavor text says, my secret ingredient? Well, I can't tell you that, but here's a hint. It's not love. Oh my God. This is the idea of a witch baking, like normally it's like Hansel and Gretel bake you into a pie, but this is used as a creature destruction spell. You literally bake one of your opponent's creatures into a pie. Oh my God. I mean, sure, it's not quite Vraska's Contempt level, but on a flavor level, it's amazing. You can see the witch here with this giant baker's paddle, ladling or paddling, I suppose, this gigantic pie into the oven. And you can see the hand of some beast that's trying to escape it. That's a big pie. And you can see that the oven is ready to go. You can see the heat radiating out of it. You can see all the knickknacks and curios inside of this darkened witch's home. Honestly, what kind of magic does it take? Are these creatures paralyzed and then baked into the pie while they're still aware, while they're still cognizant of what's going on? Is the paralysis starting to wear off to a degree where this creature is able to reach one of its hands feebly up out of the pie? I also love the amount of effort that's put into making what looks like quite a tasty pie. If you didn't see the little, I don't know, gorilla, ogre hand, whatever it is, reaching up out of the pie, you might think to yourself, well, now this looks delicious. This looks like a nice cozy scene. But I mean, when you take into account the little hand popping out of it and the witch that's shoving this into the oven, it takes on a much darker tone. So I like the dark whimsy of this. This is very, very cool. There are some very cool black creature kill spells in Eldraine, honestly. I really enjoy the entire concept of this. It's super fantastic. Let's move on to the next card. We've got Korvold, Fey Cursed King. This is 1 black, 1 red, 1 green, and 2 colorless for a 4/4 flying dragon noble. And I love that they've brought back the noble creature type. We actually had it all the way back in the beginning of Magic with Fairy Noble. So it's pretty dope to see it return, in all honesty. I'm glad that it's back. I wonder if they're going to errata old creature types for this? Probably. I imagine they will. So he is 4/4 flying. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, sacrifice another permanent. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on Korvold and draw a card. Flavor text says, transformed at his own wedding, he promptly ate the banquet, the gifts, and the guests. Oh, dude! I never knew the flavor behind this. I saw this in arena games, because this is actually one of the Brawl deck leaders. This is one of the Brawl deck commanders. And you can see this very regal-looking dragon kind of sitting up. He's sitting up like a human, right? Like a lot of dragons are shown down on all fours. He is shown in a more humanoid style positioning, which makes sense for a human who's been transformed into a dragon. You can see the tapestries and banners hanging down. This must have been the royal hall within which he lived originally, right? He's a king, so this is his kingly estate. He's still behaving like a king. His horns on his head pretty much look like a crown. You've got the banners flapping in the wind. You have like red velvety looking cloth draped across him. You have all of these individuals knelt, just worshiping him. There's a big chest of treasure. The chest of treasure is a good representation of you getting to draw a card off the sacrifice. The fact that he just grows with all of these sacrifices to him. The concept of him being a king who was cursed by the Fae on his own wedding. I mean, Alanis Morissette sings about awful wedding days. This is a step up. I love the flavor of it. He's turned into a dragon at his wedding and proceeds to just eat everything. He is just king of gluttony. Man, how very, very cool and very, very fairy tale feeling. I love it. This artwork is fantastic. It almost looks like the dude who's standing in the background is almost offering these other people up as tribute to Korvold. This is cool, honestly. You could see him rampaging around the countryside, demanding tribute from everyone in his dragon form. That's dope. Next up, we have a Turtle Hydra! A Turtle Hydra! Teenage Mutant Ninja Hydra's gonna bash your artifacts. Suck my turtle. Oh my god, I love the Steel Bane Hydra. A Hydra combined with a turtle! I love it, dude. 2 green and X. It comes into the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Pay a green and 2 colors. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Steel Bane Hydra. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. This is going in my big green tower. This is definitely going in my big green tower. The flavor text says, many an ancient treasure has been reduced to jagged caltrops by its snapping jaws. They're snapping turtles. Oh god, it's got snapping turtle heads, and they're smashing artifacts. You can actually even see in one of the mouths of the Hydra, it's got an enchanted blade that's being chucked apart there, just chomped down. It may be, actually no, never mind. It looks like an enchanted spear, not an enchanted sword. I did not notice the glowing fragments of it that are down by this Hydra's feet. Oh my god, and the flavor text is a home run. Many an ancient treasure has been reduced to jagged caltrops by its snapping jaws. Dude, that's amazing. Tiny little bits of metal that will just ruin your feet underneath. He's doing the fantasy version of Lego. You ever stepped on Lego in bare feet? Brutal, just brutal. But I love this. I love this four-headed Hydra kind of coming out of the murky gloom of a swamp, just smashing up a heavily enchanted lance like it's nothing. Yeah, bro, that's awesome. You can see some knight trying to face this down and just getting wrecked. And the fact that it's repeatable enchantment and artifact removal, because you can do one for each of the counters on it, and there's a way to grow them with proliferate and everything. I love this. And he's going to combine awesome with Gargos. Gargos says, yeah, baby, yeah. After that, we got Mace of the Valiant. This is an interesting piece of equipment. 1 white, 2 colorless. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on Mace of the Valiant and has vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on Mace of the Valiant, and it equips for 3. Honestly, it's expensive to put out, and it's expensive to equip. It's going to cost you 6 mana to get it out and to equip it, but overall, seems very solid. The flavor on it is not really transmitted through the artwork. Admittedly, there is nothing to indicate why this would be, like, why does this mace grow in power? Is it because of a collective belief of people? Actually, I find the mace to be funky looking, but what I find far more striking is the stand that's holding it. And I love the idea of enchanted items floating above a pedestal where you just kind of reach out and there be maybe some kind of magical force that'll blast you backwards when you grasp for it. Maybe this mace rejects everyone but the Valiant. And the design of the walls, the pillars that are behind it, and also the black void behind the mace, it's so well framed. The curving pillars around the mace, the blackness behind it and the glow coming up from underneath it really serve to highlight this mace. And it's got like kind of a weird hole in the middle. I could picture this glowing stronger and stronger as more people believe in the wielder of it, or actually they believe in the mace itself, because the power of the mace, does it draw on a bit of each person's soul? Dude, that's a funky card. And obviously with some kind of token setup, it would be pretty gross. Next thing we're going to talk about is Embereth Paladins. For those of you who don't know, there are different kingdoms, different areas in the world of Eldraine based on different ideals. Embereth is the land of virtuous combat. So 1 red, 3 colorless for a 4/1 human knight with haste. He's got Adamant. If at least 3 red mana was spent to cast his spell, he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. So you actually get a 5/2. The flavor text says, the king would die for the realm. I would not hesitate to do the same for him. Now that is some hardcore loyalty. And you take a look at the artwork, and I love this. Look at his steed. His steed is like a dragon or a lizard beast. Dude, when you read the Throne of Eldraine books, you will find there is a whole wide range of different mounts. There are people riding elks and stags, people riding bears, weird like double-headed goats. There's all kinds of fantastical beasts. And I love that. I love the idea of not riding something as mundane as a horse. I love the colorful nature of this paladin's armor, the big flowing red cape. He looks very noble, and his sword looks incredible. His sword looks like it's on fire, just flaming, and he's just got it like slung back on his shoulder like it ain't no thing. He is shown in, this is a non-action scene where he is shown ready for action, but also just kind of relaxing. He looks pretty awesome, in all honesty. The card itself, not the most powerful card. I mean, this is obviously, this is your draft kind of stuff right here. This is a draft card, but the flavor on it is on point. After that, we've got Savvy Hunter. 1 black, 1 green, 1 colorless for a 3/3 human warrior. Whenever Savvy Hunter attacks or blocks, create a food token. Flavor text says, none of the other villagers dare venture into the wilds, so she feeds the whole hamlet herself. Man, that's pretty pimp. It also explains why you can, like, look at how effective she is. She has like some sort of antelope or elk slung over her back. Hanging from that, she has multiple other animals. You've got a rabbit on one side, and I'm not honestly sure what's on the left-hand side. It's easier to see sometimes when the artwork is bigger. But either way, you see her coming out of this kind of gloomy, glowing forest with all these branches underfoot with green glowing moats. There's a lot of mystical energy in this forest. It seems like the kind of place where people would get lost.